Well, good morning, everyone. Do not adjust your sets. It is a Sunday morning here, and we are back live. And this is Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm, Integrity Roofing and Siding, and the Sabinal Group. I'm here with the great Laura Linda. Actually, so Laura, yeah, it's popping up right here. We're just trying to figure out this.
Oh, there it is. Right, okay, and then I get to share it.
You share. I would hope that
yes.
If you would share it, that'd be awesome. See, you gotta love social media. I think I was telling Laura this might be the first episode I've ever done on a Sunday morning, and there's a reason for that, by the way. Laura is from Dallas. You're originally from Corpus, which we'll get to.
Corpus
but
Christi.
You live in Dallas.
Yes, I live in Dallas.
So you're going back home today.
Yes.
And I would have to be a complete and utter idiot to try to do this during the Cowboys game later on today. So that's not happening. We're not going to compete with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. I said, you know what, let's do this here before Laura and her husband head back home, because you have had quite an exciting weekend here in San Antonio.
Quite an exciting weekend. A very, very over-the-top weekend, and for a great cause.
I'm glad that your voice is still, and you'll understand why I say that in a minute, your voice is still intact, and you still have enough energy to do pickup lines, and so I'm grateful for that. We are live, by the way, in the all-electric. I got so excited with social media, I forgot to mention we're live inside the all-electric Lexus RZ 450e, courtesy of North Park Lexus of San Antonio, and North Park Lexus at Dominion. And yes, Laura is being a great social media friend and sharing here. We are a stone's throw away from 1 Watson, where about 12 hours ago, I'm not exaggerating, 12 hours ago, you were on the rooftop of the 1 Watson, 12, 15 stories up.
Oh, yes.
Belting your heart out, releasing your brand new single.
Yes, my brand new single, Honey Boy, Honey Girl.
Yes.
Great duet, collaboration, and it was over the top, Ernie. I am so excited about this song.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
We got to go back a little ways before we get to last night and everything, but I would encourage everybody to follow Laura Linda, and the website's easy to remember, lauralinda.com. She's on all the social media platforms, and you've done a great job, I know the team as well, just releasing this content, because there's been weeks and months of build-up to this weekend, where you were you released your latest single and the video last night. Honey Boy, Honey Girl is the new song. But I want to go back. Let's go back to where it all started a few years back, because you were originally, as you mentioned earlier, from Corpus Christi.
Originally born and raised in Corpus Christi, and then I did move to Dallas, Texas in the year 2000.
So you had an interesting kind of turn there at the turn of the century, if you will. But growing up in Corpus Christi, what was that like, and what was your first sense that music was introduced into your life and that you were going to be a performer someday?
Well, you know, I've been dancing my entire life. My mother was the founder of, and named by the senator, the queen and founder of the Ballet Folklorico of Corpus Christi.
Right.
Been dancing my entire life. But then I started going to the garage, Ernie, and singing in the garage, you know, to Olivia Newton-John and all those artists back, you know. And I never thought I was going to be a singer. I thought I was going to be this solid gold dancer or something like that.
Yes.
Solid gold?
Heck yeah. Was it Marilyn McCoo or who was it? I know I had a crush on her, whoever was the host I'm thinking like Olivia Newton-John. Is that around the time of like Grease and
Xanadu?
Oh.
Those are the best days.
On roller skates.
Yes.
Singing with ELO and I can visualize that.
Yes. I was there singing away Grease and Xanadu.
You had the blonde hair too. You got the. I see it. I can see that in Corpus Christi at that time. Very good. And so you start performing, and it just came naturally to you.
I entered the KLUL Showdown country station in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
I entered the song "Fancy" by Reba McEntire.
Sure.
They called my daddy up and said, "Your daughter's in one of the top 3 finalists for the competition." So that was when I said, you know, I think I want to start singing.
Yeah.
And I went to Nashville, Tennessee with You Can Be a Star. And I performed at the Stockyard Bullpen. So then, I was 21 years old, 22 years old, something like that.
Right.
And I just started in the country roots. I had Laura Linda and Texas Gold Rush. So
yes.
To answer your question, that's how I started my music career, was by making the top 3 finalists in one of the country showdowns.
So it wasn't going to be pop. It wasn't going to be Olivia Newton-John stuff, and it wasn't going to be Tejano, which obviously was a thing in Corpus Christi, and I mean it still is. But
Yes.
but back then, you decided to go the country route. See, I grew up in Victoria, so I know a little bit about that smaller town, the dance halls, if you will, and those bands that would come. And I wonder if you ever toured or went through Victoria.
I did go through Victoria. I absolutely did. God, it was so long ago, and we did perform in Victoria, and I remember it being a really small little town.
Yes. It's a little bigger now. but what I will say is they had Sun Valley Ranch and some Inez. They had these Schrader Hall, these little, some legends have performed at these places over the years. They're little bitty hole-in-the-wall places, but that's where the bands would come in, so-and-so from Corpus Christi, so-and-so from San Antonio, or wherever, and you just make your stop and then move on to the next place.
We were on the road, I'll tell you. We hit all of the areas, especially in Texas.
Right.
And, you know, I just jumped in the bus with the band and
Yeah.
the road crew, and I just got up on stage and performed, Ernie. I mean, that's just what I did. You know, and I performed with a lot of the big acts like Mark Chesnutt, Tim McGraw, opened the shows with all these big guys. So,
yes, you heard correct. Tim McGraw, as in like Faith Hill's husband, and he, back then, and they were nowhere near as big as they are now. But these are people that you broke into the business with,
yes.
opening for and
Yes.
performing with them.
Yes, I did. We performed at the Yellow Rose there in Corpus Christi.
Yes.
You remember that place, and then in Ingleside, I think that's where I played with Tim McGraw when he was just coming out with that hit "Refried Dreams."
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and the rest is history. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Selena, because obviously the Corpus Christi connection. You were doing country, you were in that, and she was obviously the Tejano. Did you two ever cross paths or intersect?
You know, a lot of people ask that. They ask me that. You know, and bless her heart, when she passed away, I did have a conversation with a couple of her cousins, and they did claim that Selena knew of me through my country music, and of course I knew of the beautiful Selena as a Tejano performer.
Yeah.
But we never, I never even had the chance to meet her, Ernie.
Yeah.
I think the time I went to I was going to go see her perform at the Bayfront Plaza. I think that was the very last show she did in Corpus Christi. We decided not to go.
Yeah.
And so no, I didn't even get to see her perform live. But I know she was very prominent there in Corpus, and she was just starting to make a name for herself.
Yeah.
In Tejano. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you had enough to worry about on your own. I mean, you're trying to build your own career and everything. And so you get through the 80s and you go into the 90s and you're opening up for these big acts and you have a little taste of Nashville. And I guess, was it your dad? Was he kind of like your pseudo promoter at the time?
Oh, Ernie, my daddy was my promoter and my number one fan. And he would walk in back in the day. Remember the briefcases?
Yeah, like a satchel or a
little
briefcase. Yeah,
the little square box
Absolutely.
briefcase. And
my dad had one.
Yes, and he would walk into these places and get us these bookings, and I mean, we were hot. We were doing show after show. But yeah, my daddy was our financial backer at the time, and of course my manager and promoter.
But was he professionally trained in that, or he did his thing and obviously was your number one fan?
He wasn't like brought up as a promoter, but he was kind of brought up because he was a salesman.
There you go.
He was in real estate. He was a salesman. So those kind of guys, I mean, promotions and being a promoter just come natural.
Yeah.
You know, they're salesmen, so.
Well, so and it obviously worked. And so so you're charging along. And at what point did you decide that music was going to be your life? That you were going to try to make a career out of it, earn a living, sustain your lifestyle, as opposed to did you ever want to do anything else?
You know, again, we were going to be professional dancers.
Yeah.
So when I got a taste of Nashville, I remember this lady wanted to sign me. Her name was Dixie. Well, I don't want to say her last name. Her name was Dixie. In Nashville, Tennessee. She wanted to sign me for 10 years. I was 21 years old. Wow. And my daddy was like, "You're not signing with anybody for 10 years." So
that's a long time.
That was a really, really, really long time. So, I mean, Yeah, I got off the question. What was the question again?
Well, no, just asking about. Did you ever want to do anything else? Like when you were in high school, or
So again, it was the dancer in me. It was the dancer in me. I thought, performer.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have a big whole dance company in Corpus Christi, and that just. I went to Nashville, and when we came back, I said, you know what, Daddy, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I was 21, 22. From 21, 22 all the way through, I knew that I was going to be singing.
Yeah, yeah. And, you talked about your parents and your dad being your number one fan and everything. And then inevitably, as it typically does, life happens. And you approach the turn of the century, I guess it was around the year 2000, and you lose your mom.
I lose my mom. And so I moved to Dallas in the year 2000. And I backed out of the industry for 20 years.
Well, why did you decide to leave? Was the death connected to her losing your mom connected to why you left Corpus?
Yes. Well, yes and no. I moved to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in between keeping the band thing going.
Yeah.
And I moved to Dallas, and then I had musicians in Dallas, and then I think when I went to Dallas 6 months later is when I lost my mother. But then it folded. It folded,
yeah.
Ernie. I just didn't have the joy and the inspiration to pursue my music. I just didn't, and for whatever reason, but I did get to go back to college and pursue my bachelor's degree, and I went to work for one of the high schools in Dallas. I was the drill team director for 14 years.
Well, because that was my next question is, you're leaving the business, you're going through this time, you've lost your mom, and if you'd have given me 100 guesses, and I was, well, what are we going to do next? And you said, drill team instructor. That, respectfully, that probably would have not been the next thing I would have thought you do, but
it was dance.
Well, that's it, and you poured yourself into that.
I did. I gave my life for 14 years. I catered to the low-income children of South Dallas, and I took those little girls to a level they had never been to. But they were my life, they were my soul, and they were my heart. And I built a name there in Oak Cliff with all of the elementary schools, and I taught, dance, and I educated and inspired them in the world of drill team and dance.
What was it about those specific girls that, I don't know, maybe if you saw any of yourself in them, or what was it about those specific girls that you chose to help them out and use dance as a way to lift them up?
Well, they needed a lot of direction, Ernie, especially at that particular school. They needed the same opportunity that everyone else gets. And I felt that I had the drive and the knowledge to be able to take these girls, and inspire them. That's what they need. They need inspiration. They need direction. They need to be educated in not only dance, but just life in general, just a lot of different things that come into mind.
We continue on here with Laura Linda, who just hours ago unveiled her brand new single, Honey Boy, Honey Girl, which you can now find on your favorite music digital platform or whatever.
Yes.
All those years when you're working with these girls, 5 years go by, 10 years go by, was it 14, something like that? 14. Did you ever, how much did you miss, if at all, the music scene, and did you ever consider going back in?
Music was always in my heart. I wanted to go back. When I first got to Dallas, I wanted to go back so bad. I felt like I was missing something. It's just who I was as an individual, but it was all in God's timing, and it just was not my time to go back to the music scene. And I did so many wonderful things in between those years. Sure. I graduated with my bachelor's degree, like I said. I had my beautiful daughter.
So I was going to say, by the way, you became a mom.
I became a mom. Yeah. And when I became a mom, Ernie, everything changed. Everything changed. The drill team and the school, my whole world changed. I remember I was on a school bus going to one of our games, and I thought to myself, what am I doing on this bus? Mm-hmm. My heart was just in a totally different direction. And that's when I knew that it was time for me to move on. So.
Having kids has a way of doing that, right?
Yes.
It kind of just resets everything. And
if you're a good parent.
That is true. That is true. But it does kind of, you put your priorities in front of you and you realize, oh, maybe I was doing it, I could have done it differently all this time. And so,
Yes.
and now did your daughter get the music gene from you?
Yes, she absolutely loves to
Or the
sing.
dancing gene?
Yes, she's also in drill team at her middle school.
Okay.
So, yes, she's I'd always tell her, I said, you're way more better of a singer than Mom is, baby. She sings beautifully, but I think my daughter's just young. She's just more intelligent than anything.
Yeah.
And I want her to just totally focus on her education.
Right.
And I tell her everything else will come on the side.
Yeah.
And I stress this to all my students with my dance company.
Right.
Education, Ernie, it comes first.
Right.
There's a lot of uprising singers
Sure.
and uprising, especially women, young girls that are trying to want to be this star. And I'm like, focus on your schooling, go to college, focus on your education, because not everybody gets where they want to go.
That's true. It's like I've always said, they give you the diploma, right? They give you the certificate, and they can nobody can take that away from you, no matter what. So,
yes.
So I'm completely with you on that. Your husband, obviously, Luis, who's not too far away, is probably one of your biggest cheerleaders, if not the biggest. And I know he's had a big impact on now you coming back, because you're doing the dance thing. You have your daughter now, and at some point you get the itch again.
Yes.
When did that happen?
Well, when I met him, of course, I always kept my singing on the down low.
Right.
People would recognize me and, hey, but, we would talk about it, and he's like, I think you should be singing again. And I'm like, you don't just get up on a stage and sing again. There's so many things involved.
Yes.
In order to do, as you know, Ernie, if you're going to do it right. Okay, if you're gonna do it right, you don't just get up on a stage with a microphone and start singing again. So, we strategized about it, and I got a band together. I got into the studio. I recorded my first song in 2019, and in the Tejano industry, that is, I went back to the Tejano industry.
Right.
And that's when my career lifted again. Yeah.
And I would imagine 2019 to 99 or that it's just completely different time. I wonder, like when you got in the recording studio or whatever. What was the biggest difference for you? It must have felt different, I would think.
Oh, big time different. Now, everything back then was analog. Now it's digital, as you know, Ernie.
Yes.
You know that. There were no internet stations. It's just completely different.
Right.
But the opportunity is there for everyone. That back then, if they didn't want to play your music, they didn't play it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you've got internets all over. Actually, they're dominating. So.
And you can put out your own music, as opposed to sending it to a radio station or to a producer and begging or praying that they'll play it on the air or whatever. You can literally host your own thing. Heck, I can do it. You certainly can do it.
That's right. You just make your video, and you post it on YouTube, and everybody else that likes it is going to follow you. Look at all those hearts going up.
Well,
it's true.
Well, nobody has to worry about me releasing a country album anytime soon, because I'm going to stay right here where I am.
Honey boy.
There he is. Honey girl. A few more minutes here with Laura Linda as she gets ready to go back home to Dallas. And now that you have released, again, just last night she released on the rooftop of One Watson, the new single, the new video. Now that you've done that, I would imagine you have a sense of relief. And then secondly, what do you do? What's the next in the process?
Oh my gosh. Well, they're already talking about, we have a huge team, Ernie. And first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to have me here with you this morning. But also, all of you that don't know, and I know I'm sharing it on my page and my fan page, Mr. Ernie Suniga has also contributed to the success of Honey Boy, Honey Girl, and Team Laura Linda. We have a huge team
How about
behind
this
us.
much, Laura? Come on now.
No,
you've been great.
No, so again, they're talking about Nashville. The next recording will be in Nashville,
Good for
Tennessee. So we're looking for that big songwriter in which we're going to be in contact with. It's, that are writing for George Strait and all these people.
Yeah.
And then hopefully find out where the best place to record is.
Good for you. Okay. Well, I God willing, will be there whenever it happens and everything, and we can do this again. And don't forget about me when you're, the Grand Ole Opry and doing all that stuff. So, the Laura Linda of 2024, the singer, performer, what you know now. If you could go back to the Laura Linda of the Xanadu Laura Linda and the earlier version, if you will, in Corpus Christi, and you could speak directly to her, what would you tell that girl or that young woman?
You mean, like, if I could tell myself?
Exactly.
What would I tell her? Well, I just not to give up.
Yeah.
Not to give up. Just to keep going. There's going to be a lot of breaks in between, but just follow your heart and keep going, and don't trust anyone. Don't trust anyone.
Yes.
No, I mean, it, especially when you're a female, it's a real how can I say, untrusting world out there, and you just stay focused. Go to college, finish your degree, and then everything else comes after. So, if I knew then what I know now, things would be so different. But I'm not regretful for getting out of the industry all these years.
Mm-hmm.
I am I feel like I'm blessed because I'm back at a better time.
Right.
I'm more mature. I know what I want, but most importantly, I have done what I have wanted to do. There are so many artists out there that have never left.
Right.
And so, you kind of look back and you're like, what did they have to fall back on?
Yeah.
So I'm very, very blessed. I'm not regretful at all, and things have never been so good. I mean, our team is flying.
Just watch the video go on social media, lauralinda.com, her Facebook. Watch the clips from last night, and you can see how much fun she was having and everything. I guess the last thing I wanted to mention, too, because you mentioned all this thing, and on top of that, what I really like about what you do and what the team has done is the philanthropic aspect, because on top of all of this, you were raising money last night for kids here. I guess it's one of the hospitals here in town. Is it the Texas Music Project?
It's the Texas Music Project that we were raising funds for San Antonio Methodist Children's Hospital.
Good for you.
And our goal was to raise $4,500 for this event, and we exceeded the expectation. We raised $5,000.
Very nice.
So it was jam-packed last night. The party was over the top. The benefit was over the top. The music and video release of Honey Boy, Honey Girl, in which George Mercado collaborated with me on this duet last night, it was over the top. I mean, nobody wanted to leave. We exceeded. The Texas Music Project was there. We had the senator there. I got the Yellow Rose yesterday.
They don't just hand those out to anybody.
The Yellow Rose of Texas. That was an amazing,
good for you,
amazing award. And we also did get a proclamation for the Texas Music Project Music Heals Day from the senators. So, and
essentially what they do is that money is used to use music as a way to help kids who are just going through a tough time in the hospitals and everything. And so that's what that's all about. So many things to celebrate. I appreciate, because I gotta believe you're tired and ready to just jump in a bed and relax and chill out and watch the Cowboys game.
We're getting ready to have brunch here in a little bit with our team, but I want to also thank Desiree Sedler Martinez, my publicist, for this amazing opportunity. She's been a fire win, and also to Team Laura Linda, to the Texas Music Project. and just everyone that has been supporting Team Laura Linda.
It takes a village, as they say, right, to make it happen.
It takes a village.
I'm so happy for you. Proud of all the success. Can't wait to see what else comes in Texas, Nashville, and beyond, and everything. And one more time, I would encourage everybody to find her on social media, all the popular platforms, or just go online. The easiest thing, go online to lauralinda.com to find out more about the story, the philanthropic angle, the history, if you will, all the great things you've done, and to listen to some good music. So thanks again. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ernie. And thank you for watching. Yay.
There you have it. The great Laura Linda. lauralinda.com is the website. Now we go and see if the Cowboys will win today.
They are going to win.
There you have it. See, she's calling it. She's calling it. Good to see you.
Thank you.
There you have it. Okay, another episode of Pickup Lines in the Books. We'll be back again very soon. Have a great Sunday. One more time, lauralinda.com is the website. The new single is Honey Boy, Honey Girl.
Yes.
Find it wherever you find your music, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.